Can I be whoever I want to be? That's awesome.
Who would you
Yes,
like to be?
Well, I'll be me
that's
today.
a good question. Yeah. Yay. So can we see people, Becky, or no? We're just talking and
Um,
just curious.
that's a great question.
I don't,
Are
okay.
you on your
Well, we don't
computer?
know. I am. It's cool.
Sometimes on the side, you'll be able to
Yeah.
see people comments
Okay.
or comments. I'll keep an eye, and then so if there's any,
Perfect.
yeah.
Awesome. So, well,
Cool.
if you're watching, because we can't see you,
Yeah.
hi,
Hello.
hello. And we are, what are we talking about, Alan? I'm losing my
So,
AirPods.
there's me. I'm a man, so I don't really multitask well. Just so
Hmm.
you know. So I was trying to share this on Facebook, but it's not letting me do it. So anyway, what? So I get your words out. Put your teeth back in. So I was looking at looking at the energy of when we said like, what are we going to talk about? What's the subject that we're talking about? So we have a call coming up next week called "The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck."
Yay.
And it was really interesting because the first thing I looked at was coronavirus and lockdown, and um, I can almost sense the judgment of people of, are you saying you don't care, you don't give a fuck about those people who are in lockdown and who are dying and blah blah blah. I'm like, no, 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 no. That's so I thought let's not go there, even though that's what I kind of went for immediately. Um, and it was just looking at that. So I looked at the energy of like people fear judgment. So that was where the who's afraid of the big bad wolf.
Which
Because
I
Yeah.
judgment is the big bad wolf, isn't it? It's
and the big bad wolf will eat Little Red Riding Hood.
yeah, and that's exactly where I went as well. Like, boom. I didn't go to the Three Little Pigs, which is interesting. So, but yeah, it's like, when did we start? When did we start to be fearful of being judged? Now, for me, I just an immediate flashback was childhood with my mother, who just used to ridicule us the whole time. Like, so she would do these. She would get all my cousins and me and my sisters together, and they would make us dance and then judge us on who was the. And I
Hmm.
hated it. Like,
Oh,
like so. I won't. I'm really funny about dancing in public now because I have all these horrible flashbacks of all my aunts and uncles sitting there going, oh, "Look at him, he's shit." Um,
I'm sure they didn't do much better. You know, I'm just
but
saying.
I've actually got quite good rhythm. Just saying. Um, but it is. It's like so for me. It was that early age of childhood of. Sorry, I just heard something smash. Oh well. Um, when was it? When did we decide that judgment was something to be afraid of?
Hmm.
Um, and I think it was like watching my mother. She was terrified of people judging her for how she managed her children. So when I look at that, it's like, oh, like, and then we being judged then is a really bad thing. It's really awful, and you're gonna die because
Yeah,
that's what it feels like.
does. And you know how much, as well as the judgment that's like delivered directly to you, the judgment that you're aware of
Yeah.
in the universe of your parents. I mean, my mom, I was so aware of how much she judged her body dynamically.
Hmm.
And so then I remember as a little kid kind of having this, what I thought was judgment that I had of mine. And it wasn't until much later that somebody said, yeah, you were just aware. You're aware of everything going on and the judgments of the people around you. And so, how much are we aware of the judgment that everybody's living in? And if nobody tells you it's not yours, you think it's yours, and then you just waltz right into that world of believing all the judgment.
And that's it. We're just not taught that that whole tool of what are you aware of?
Yeah,
Because there are some, and it's almost like there are some judgments you people could throw at me, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then there are other ones that somewhere stored in my
yeah,
little toe is that real?
yeah. Well, and just what you said, I mean, for me, a really huge key to freedom was, and I probably had to hear it like 15,000 times before I actually got it, that judgment is not real.
Oh,
Judgment is not real. Judgment is a made up thing. And Yet, as you said, who's afraid of the big bad wolf? How significant and big and real and truthful do we make it?
Gary said something at the CF class, which I can still hear him saying. Goes, and he said to everyone who was on the live stream, you know, the problem with you lot is you all think that judgment means something. Right? It was just that phrase, and,
Yes.
and all of a sudden, all these things like, like, oh my God, judgment doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, like, that is so cool. And what I love about listening to both of you and following both of you on social media and the different things that, you guys both be with that. So like, what is like the subtle art of really, how do you be that with judgment? Like, cause you guys live that, right? So like, I totally get
sometimes. I have moments.
We have landmines, right?
We do. They're occasionally, snipers.
Everyone, these two are perfect. They are perfect. Let me just put that out there.
Yeah. Which is funny you say that though, Becky, because that's also a judgment. And I worked really hard to get, so judgment's the way the world works. So how hard can I work? So most of the judgments that come my way are the positive ones, so that people like me and they give positive judgments to me. So, and just as big of a trap, if not more, because you're working your ass off to try to be something that you think you're supposed to be, that you've decided you should be, rather than just being you.
And we have to prove the rightness of those positive judgments. So we're always and then the one time that one person just comes in and goes, oh, you're shit at that. And you're like, and it all kind of goes, it's just like the one pebble that just makes the whole house of cards just go poof.
Yeah. But what you said, like of how, or how do you sort of live that? For me, it is that when I'm stuck, when somebody's judgment of me and I find it replaying in my head and it's somehow sticking me, I do like to ask, what does this mean to me? What have I decided this means? Where am I making this significant? And what if, whatever that thing is that I don't want to be judged for, what if I just turned it up and was willing to be that even more than they're judging me to be it? Somebody judges me to be a bad mom. You think that's bad mom? Let me show you bad mom. I'll turn up bad mom. But because it unstuck me from, if I'm stuck at, oh my God, I can't be seen as a bad mom. Oh my God, I can't be seen as a slut. Oh my God, I can't be seen as a whatever. Then it's like, well, where did I make that a bad thing? And if I wasn't making it a bad thing, how much more free could I be? So I like to play with, okay, I can be that. Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's super cool. Like, we're not willing to be whatever we're being judged for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, well, there's so many places we could go with this, but it's almost a bit like, so where did we suddenly make being a slut wrong? Like, and I know there's going to be lots of resistance. Like, a slut is bad and wrong. It means that you admit, like, there's the meaning. It comes in. It's like, for me, the meaning of the word slut is just someone who's just willing to receive and have fun. It's a bit kind of hedonistic. That's my perception of what.
Yeah.
So I'm willing for people to call me that.
Me too.
Yeah. And I am.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. And it again, it's also about that kind of setting an example. You're here to set an example for other people. As a coach, you should be professional. As a coach, you shouldn't swear. As a coach, you shouldn't ridicule people. Not that I ridicule people, but I kind of joke with them because sometimes that gives them an awareness. You don't see, I'm justifying that already. Can you hear that? It's like, I don't really ridicule people. I just kind of joke with them, like, because there's a judgment there. Ridiculing people is bad and wrong, which is, again, what I grew up with. Ridicule was that thing that I lived with. So I wouldn't dream of doing it to anyone else because I know how much that hurt me. Only because I made it and mean something.
Yeah. 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 And I heard Brendan Watt say something at a COP. I think you were there, Becky. But he was talking about choices and any choice that we make. And he said, it's never the choice that decays your future. It's your judgment of the choice that decays your future. And I was like, wow. So when we choose something, it's just a choice. Choice is just choice. But the moment I go into, I shouldn't have made that choice, or should have made a better choice, or that was a stupid choice, or whatever that is, whether, from I shouldn't have eaten that piece of chocolate cake because now I'm going to like have 2 more pounds on my hips. Now I'm going into the judgment of the chocolate cake. But it wasn't the chocolate cake. It was the judgment of eating the chocolate cake. So how much do we stop ourselves from having the freedom to choose what we really desire as our life, because we got to judge our choice and compare it to everybody else, and was it the good choice or the right choice?
Wow.
It's really, and I love that about the kind of, it's the judgment of the choice that creates the decay of the future. And what kind of another aspect of that is, we often think we fear the negative judgments, but how often are there positive judgments that we don't want to have too?
Yep.
Like, you're beautiful, you're sexy, you're good looking, you're attractive. And the reason I
Why,
talk about
thank you.
You're so gorgeous. So I've done a lot of stuff with my body recently and over the last 2 years, and because judgment of my body has been like that, and money were the 2 things in my life that were the biggest things that I've had so much fear about being judged for. And I had some awareness about 18 months ago. One of the reasons why I put on so much weight is because I didn't want to be seen as attractive, because then that would mean ... all sorts of other stuff. I would be unfaithful. I would leave my partner. I would all of that stuff. Like, so I have to make myself really ugly and fat. And what was really funny was all these people found me more attractive because I had a larger body. I'm like, well, that didn't fucking work. I went out of my way to make sure that I was judged for something. And it just opened up a whole different space of, hey, you can receive this instead.
It's so cool that you brought up bodies, because I mean, that's one of the biggest.
Where we judge. Yeah.
It's acceptable.
And it's both ways. Like my one daughter, she's super tiny. She's really tall. She's really tiny. She's maybe a size 1, but she can eat whatever she chooses because she doesn't really have a point of view on food. So she really eats whatever's required. Sometimes she's eating, sometimes she's not. Like, it's just, so cool to watch her with the way she is with food. But she is nonstop judged, because they're like, you starve yourself, you're too skinny, you're anorexic. So that, it has been such a fun journey with her. And then even, like with everybody else, because no matter what, it's not right.
So true.
Right? You can try to fit in, but whatever, you're like, oh, I need to be this size, or I need to be that size. So it's so cool that you brought up bodies, because bodies is, so, we're like the big bad wolf. We're so judged for our bodies. Like, I posted a picture of me in my bathing suit, and yesterday, it's so funny because, just like you, I know you do this a lot too, Ellen. I was just like, I'm getting ready to post this, and I already got what it was gonna, what it was gonna create. Although, like, all of it, that like, oh my God, I love this. Oh my God, I hate this. Oh my God, I hate you. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Oh my God, all of it. She shouldn't be posting that stuff on Facebook. And I'm just like, post.
Yeah.
Receive.
Yeah. Receive. And I love that part, because how much do we work really hard to invite the judgments we want and repel the ones we don't want? And how much, how hard work is that? And how not kind to your body or your being is that? And if you just went, it doesn't mean anything anyway, so okay, bring it. That's actually the subtle art of not giving a fuck. It's not about walking through the world with your middle fingers in the air, but it's just simply, you know what? I like me enough to just choose for me. I like me enough to not judge me. I like me enough to have fun, whether you're having any or not. I'm losing my AirPod on that one. And yeah. And
that was so good. It popped your AirPods out.
Popped my AirPod. Yeah.
I remember I used to do a radio show with Tamara Yonker, and I remember there was something that she said in one of these radio shows. We did this show called Cover Up That Unseemly Body, and it was just, but we had a great fun discussing it. And she talked about how she went skinny dipping with some friends once, and some people said to her, oh my God, you must have so much body confidence that you were kind of, because she's not a kind of size 0, and or kind of, classically, as this reality would describe it, kind of, she doesn't have that shape. And she's this person who went, well, I just don't have, I don't, what's it, the next words were something like, there's just no reason or justification I can find no reason or justification good enough to judge my body.
I love that.
Just as simple as that. And that's kind of not stuck with me, but it's kind of been there in the back of my head the whole time. So now, like yesterday, I put those black and white photographs of me up and I'm looking at them, do you know what? Actually, I'm looking at those. I love them. Like, and I'm like, you know, sometimes there's kind of a slight twinge, like, oh, you know, what are people gonna think? And I put those photographs out and I'm like, do you know what? Actually, I love them. I really like them. And it wouldn't matter whether my body was kind of a lot smaller or a lot bigger. It's just like, because there's just such ease with it now. And that is you're right, Marnie. It's not going around kind of with the middle finger up, flipping the finger, going, yeah, well, I don't give a shit about you. It's just like, hey, look, this is me, and I'm okay with that. And what invitation can I? And something else around the whole body thing. The person who really invited me to that was being around Merlin Volsink. And I know I drop his name in all the time with this because it changed my life. I was in the COP in Paris, and I spent 3 days in an apartment with him. It wasn't until the third day I realized I hadn't judged my body, not once. And I'm like, oh my God, it's because he doesn't have judgment of bodies. So I'm like, if he can be that invitation for me, I want to be that for other people. So it took it out of just being about me having ease in my body. It was, so with this call that we're doing next week, it's like when we have that space of being the subtle art of not giving a fuck, when that people enjoy being around you and they're like, wow, I haven't judged myself once since I was around you. What is that?
Well, I so love that.
That is so amazing.
Yeah.
It's kingdom
like
of
what you
we.
guys both have been talking about is like having your own back.
Yeah.
Like I've been really like, you know, loving that, like truly, like what is it to have your own back? And so thank you.
Yeah, I love the invitation part of it. And I have to bring up Selena. I never remember her last name, but she posts all of these, you know, naked pictures on her patio in the morning, drinking coffee. The last one I saw, she's in slippers, like warm
I saw that
slippers, and the rest of her's naked with a cup of coffee. But she has such an ease with her body. And every time I look at those pictures, I'm like, my whole body relaxes, my whole body size. Like, can we have more of that? Can we have more of that? And
yeah, I adore that. It's like, so what space is she being?
Exactly.
Well, there's such a space of fun and play.
Yeah.
That she invites you to.
Did you see the video of her doing the ballet? That was awesome.
It was amazing. Yeah.
In her lounge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So, but back to the who's afraid of the big bad wolf. I mean, with judgment being made that, and all of us pretty much buying into it is the big bad wolf to be avoided. It takes a level of courage and a level of daily choosing to not be at the effect of it, because it is everywhere. So it's like a continuous choice of, yeah, cool. And if it didn't mean anything,
I mean,
how free would I be?
It's that. And it's like, if we could invite people, okay, so just for a moment, get a sense of what your life would be like if you never feared judgment ever again. Like, just, I don't even have words for what that energy is because it's so
space.
Yeah, I can't even put words to it. And okay, so, and as you said, Marnie, like it is that demand of ourselves. Go, do you know what? I am done with this. I did that with money. I did it with my body, and there's probably other areas of my life that I can look at as well. But it is like what I'm willing to be anything, do anything, lose anything, gain anything, choose anything to have that, because it's more important to me, more valuable to me than putting all that energy into judging me or making judgment real. Because how can you use that? Because if judgment was just energy, how could you use it to your advantage?
Great question.
Love that.
If judgment was just energy, how could you? It's almost like, okay, so you've got electricity coming into your house. In America, you use a different frequency than we do in England. Does that mean I can't run my computer on your plugs? Well, no, can't go to America because that energy is wrong.
Right. Yeah. So. One of my favorite questions I like to ask is, what if everything I chose today was a kindness to me and my body? And the more, because it's not about fighting against judgment either. But when I choose kindness for me and my body, judgment doesn't exist in that space. So the more that I choose kindness for me and my body, the more that there is just a space of no judgment and no buying into the judgment. And there's just a level of ease and joy and possibility and play and receiving.
And why would anyone want that, right?
It's terrible.
Yeah, sorry, Timmy has just put in the chat here. Electricity is so wrong.
So wrong.
Oh my goodness.
So wrong.
Yay.
So does anyone have any questions? Just while we're here chatting about being afraid of the big bad wolf, because we're happy to take them. We're only going to be here for a few more minutes, so get them in quick.
Yeah. We got a lot of people coming on saying hi to you guys too. Yay.
Yeah. So thank you for joining. And Alan, I'm just super grateful to you for the conversation and the space of this conversation.
Me too. I thank you. And because I watch you with is it Cara, isn't it? Doing the
art of fuckery.
The art of fuckery.
Yeah.
And any chance to get and see your big, amazing eyes is just such a gift.
Thank you. Thank you.
I could stare at the ground. Goodness me.
So, and Alan and I are doing a call. It's next week on the 7th. So is it 8th? So a week from today, actually.
Yeah.
Yes. At 11 o'clock Pacific time, which is what time for you, Alan?
It's 7 o'clock in England and 8 o'clock in Europe. So,
and it's the subtle art of not giving a fuck. So we're going to talk more about this kind of stuff. So if that sounds interesting, if you would like to, choose more of kindness and not making judgment meaningful, if you would like to set yourself free to actually have fun and ease and joy and play in your life, then we're gonna.
And I know, like, I'm just going to acknowledge as well with what's going on with kind of lockdowns and coronavirus, and just how much how prevalent judgment is about how people are handling it, how people are not handling it, and even in the supermarket, just watching people going around. If you have a smile on your the number of people who look at me suspiciously.
What is he up to?
If I have, with a smile on my face, why is he not taking it seriously? Why hasn't he got a mask on? Why are those two walking together? Because we live in the same house.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah.
So coping with the subtle art of not giving a fuck in terms of not being at the effect of anything.
That is what it is. Not being at the effect of anything. That's it in a sentence. Yep.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Because in truth, nothing is more potent and powerful than you when you are being you. And when you know that, then you're not at the effect of anything.
No.
Yay.
Well, I love it too, because even you've even wrote that somewhere, and I don't know if it's your website or the descriptions, but it's are you ready to choose you no matter what?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you guys have been talking about this whole time, really just choosing you no matter what, no matter whether there's a coronavirus, no matter, it's not being aware of those things. It's just oh, I'm going to choose me. And I know that I would like to choose more of me. So thank you. Watch out, world.
Still have landmines. That's clear.
Snipers on the side.
Yeah. Clear the snipers. Have some fun. Come join me in March, because we'll be sharing all sorts of tools and stuff, answering your questions and seeing what else is possible. What else really is possible if not money, if judgment never meant anything.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'll
Okay.
have that.
That was a
Yeah,
light
me too.
topic. Yeah.
Yay.
Woohoo! So
Well, thank you. And thank
both.
you, Becky. Yes.
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 Well, thank you
Our
guys for
technical guru
letting
of
me join
awesome.
you. Yay. Yay. All right. We'll see you guys
Thanks
all
for
later.
joining, guys. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye,
See you soon.
everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.